So, you won't believe my luck. I have got not one, not two, but three job opportunities lined up on my door. Well, which is good. Considering I've been unemployed for almost a month now because of what turned out at Rebello, because I was let go, because I was cruelly, I say, let go. Which was just like the pinnacle of injustice. Like, this bitch sends me a text one day saying that I don't need to come in for my evening shifts anymore, for my bar shifts, because she's training up a new staff. Literally the following day, she sends me a text saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I need more experience for this role, and that chick that I was just training yesterday, she'll be your replacement. Yeah, she was there to replace you. I know I didn't say anything about that. I know I didn't say anything about your performance. I made absolutely no comments, no hints as to what was about to ensue. But you should just take that as your fault anyway. And so bye-bye, we don't want you anymore. So long, sucker. Don't let the door hit you while the Lord split you." And ever since then, I've been feeling pretty down about myself, because Rebello was like the perfect job. I mean, it was the perfect job. I mean, it put me where I've always wanted to be my whole life, behind the bar. Well, not my whole life, but my whole adult life. That was like the vision. That was the job I wanted to do for the whole of college, for the whole of my youth, is be behind the bar. I'm good at that. It combines the two things I'm naturally good at, service and making shit. Kitchen would have also been good, but kitchen work is very exhausting and the hours are dreadful. So bar is like a step down from that. And plus, it's cool. I mean, being behind the bar has a lot of sex appeal. Now, I wasn't spending too much time at the behind the bar at Rebello because I was just that clueless and there wasn't much traffic anyway. So I was mainly a waitress. But being a waitress, especially at a sailing club, that's cool. Like, where Rebello is, it's a cafe slash bar slash restaurant, and it's right by the pier, by the marina, next to a yacht club. Okay? Like, I mean, the view was beautiful. The class of people who went there were definitely upper middle. Most of them senior citizens, but a lot of them middle-aged. Like, it was that kind of crowd. The hoity-toity crowd. The we're better than you respectable type. The we're still paying off our two mortgages, and I've like gone through a divorce, and my wife's probably cheated on me, but I'll totally overlook that for the kids and only for the kids alone. And I'm probably saving up my pension to buy a Mercedes type of crowd. And my tips were phenomenal. My tips at this place was, I mean, it's nowhere near as good as Four Seasons during like a wedding spell. Like, say if I were Coyle and I was doing bar work at the Four Seasons for like a wedding, yeah, it was like tips for that would be like excellent. He would be making twice as many in tips as I would be during a night at Rebello, or during a day at Rebello, I should say, not night, because during the day they're open for 8 hours, so more tips if you're on an 8-hour shift. Oh, and you split the tips, you also don't pocket them. So actually, yeah, tips at the Four Seasons would probably be 3 times the amount that I would get at Rebello's. But even then, like, it's insane how much of my income was supplemented by tips. Like, and it was just like 20 minutes away, like a 20-minute bike ride away. It was right here on my doorstep. Phenomenal environment. They fed you. The owners were great. Like, despite that Jess ended up ditching me in a very cunty, conflict avoidant, typical woman way. Like, the way she handled that was not at all great, but the way she conducted herself during shifts was good, was respectable. I actually kind of liked her. She was a born hostess. She was always on her feet. She was always there helping out, even with the staff. She would always say please and thank you, and she would always apologize profusely before she asked you to. Yeah. It was a great place to work. The only complaint I would have is the people who I worked with, which were all bitches, or at least they were just boring. They were just boring, the typical typical girls that you would find in that service environment. So yeah, I was pretty depressed or down after that, after I got let go from that, because that would have been perfect. I mean, my shifts would have been consistent. I would have had all the hours because we were the only staff. Like, Rebello literally just opened there after the pandemic, so there was no overload of staff. So I would have gotten decent hours. I would have gotten bar experience without any previous experience beforehand. I would have gotten waitressing experience. I would have gotten like tips, a shit ton of tips. Like, I mean, it was just perfect. It was perfect, and it was pulled away from me, just like that. Now I've been unemployed for a month. Technically, if I were more vigilant and if I were feeling less sorry for myself, I probably would have gone to that interview at Tony's last week, and I probably would have been working at Tony's last week instead of this week, but that didn't end up happening. So instead, I started working at a chippy this week. So now I'm a fry cook, essentially. I'm a fry cook, and just there earlier today, I got a call from Morgan Fish. By the way, Morgan's Fish fucking interviewed me 2 weeks ago, and that was partly the reason why I didn't go to the Tony's interview a week ago, because I didn't hear back from Morgan's Fish. So I was like, all right, fuck this finding a job thing. Fuck it. I only have like a month and a half of summer holidays left anyway. Whatever. I'm not gonna fucking work. It doesn't matter. So I didn't end up going to the Tony's interview because I was despondent about Morgan Fish. So there, fucking, it just bleeds into everything else. I fucking hate employers. I hate dealing with them. I hate finding a job. It's fucking stressful. It's bullshit. I hate it. But anyway, the point is that now I'm working at Tony's and I have my hours sorted out, and I got an email there literally hours ago from Four Seasons calling me in for an interview on Friday. This Friday. The day after tomorrow, Friday. And hopefully, if they like what I have to show them, they might even take me on as a staff. Yeah, sure, I'll only be working like a month, but it'll be something. And considering that I only worked at Rebello for a week, trust me, working at any place for a month is a long time. Like, it's a long time for me. I worked about 8 months at Nine O'Clock Oils. It felt like a year. Like, it legit felt like a year, but it was only 8 months. And that was the longest I've ever worked in one place, actually. I've only ever done, like, a trial day here, a couple of trial days here, a week there. I've never had a month. So if I manage to keep the job for a month, that'd be sweet. If I could somehow secure 4 Seasons of Morgan's Fish, that would be ideal. I just want to get the fuck out of Tony's. I just want to get the fuck out of that grease palace of a shithole. Oh my god, the amount of food they serve there. The amount of food they serve in any takeaway, but actually working at a takeaway has given me like a complete new perspective. By the way, in celebration of the fact that I have 3 jobs for me lined up, all within the next couple of days, and I'm actually getting paid on Friday in cash in hand from Tony's, which will be the perfect way to actually have some, cash on me for when I go to Belfast with David and co on this Saturday. Yeah. Anyway, I'll get into that. So anyway, in honor of that, cheers. Here's to me. Just open a fucking pint there. Oops. See, it would be like, it's a mistake like that probably got me fired from Mabella, was the fact that I can't even pour out a fucking Guinness. Let's hope that settles. Although, technically, I'm pretty sure that when you open it from a can, it doesn't really matter how you pour it out. It settles either way. Because when you pour it from a tap, you definitely have to wait a couple seconds. Because if you fill the whole thing in one glug, then it would just... It will never settle. By the way, I never found that out the hard way. I actually went in knowing how to pour a Guinness. But if my mom hadn't told me beforehand how to pour a bottle of Guinness, I probably would have made that mistake. And, that would have been bad. That would have been embarrassing. That would have been more embarrassing than the kind of mistakes that I already made. I swear, one of the mistakes that I made was asking Jess, like, wait, do you not serve red wine cool? Like, Do you not serve red wine cool? No. No, you fucking know, you dope. You serve it as you serve it like blood. It's supposed to be like blood, okay? You serve it at room temp. Do I need a cooling basket for the red wine? No, fucking idiot. You know what? The more I think about it, the more I actually can't blame Jess for doing what she did. But the way she went about it is so fucking spineless. So fucking spineless. So typical of a woman. Santé. Oh no, wait. I'm drinking Guinness. Sláinte. Oh, that is nice. That is a creamy head. I like the head. Yeah, but yeah, that feels good. But yeah, the amount of food they serve and like takeaways, it's no wonder that. Okay, before I get into that rant, here's a phenomenon that I've observed ever since being away from secondary school, ever since graduating for 2 years. I've been out of high school for 2 years, and here's what I noticed coming back to my hometown again after a year of being away. Everybody's gone so fucking fat. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're a guy or a girl, they're gaining weight. Everybody is minimum 10 pounds heavier than they were when I last seen them in their graduation photo at the depths. Even Cormac. The only person who comes to mind who looks better than, in terms of weight, than they did back in school is David Coyle. Actually, David Coyle. I really admire David Coyle. Like, he is like the best example for someone who knows how to live life and doesn't need to go to school or like to college. Because the thing, right, is that with a lot of people who try to deny that, oh, college is for losers, they're usually the ones, the fucking losers that compare themselves to fucking Zuckerberg or Gates or Jeff Bezos or probably like that. Like, they don't know fucking shit. They think that that's what they're gonna turn into if they don't go to college. Like, I'm sorry, but that's Matthew. Okay? I'm sorry, Matthew. I've wished you all the best for your musical career, but you're probably not fucking Cobain. Okay, well, actually, you might be Cobain, but you're not fucking Jim Morrison, okay? And you're not Zuckerberg. I wouldn't recommend not going to college to anybody. To anybody. Like, anybody. It's a rough time out there. Do you know what's gonna happen if you don't go to college? I don't care how creative you are. I don't care how creative you think you are. You don't go to college, you are going to be stuck hustling entry-level positions for a good chunk of your life. Switching in between part-time jobs. If you're lucky, you'll land a full-time one and probably in a shitty position. That's probably why you managed to get in there full-time, because it's such a shitty position that nobody wants to fucking do. Retail work, fry work, fucking service. Well, low-end service, not like hotel service or bar restaurant service, but like cashier service, housekeeping service, you know? You don't go to college, that's it. That's like your life for pretty much the entirety of your 20s. And then hopefully, if you stay there long enough, you might be able to progress yourself up the bureaucratic ladder in whatever area, area your occupation is in. Just through sheer that you have experience and you've stayed there a long time and you've competed, but it's never gonna be glamorous. You don't even have a shot of getting a glamorous job or even a career. Anything that you do is more than just a job if you don't go to college. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. But David, anyway, where I was going with that point is that David is a sparkling example of someone who actually does know how to handle life outside of college, and there's absolutely no problem with it. Because David is better now out of school in every single way than he was in school. Like, he's a nicer person. He's not as much of a cunt anymore. And he knows when to shut up now. He doesn't just like run his jaw constantly. He doesn't always need to have the last word. He doesn't always need to be the center of attention. He knows how to. Actually, that was probably Murphy that was his influence on him. Bad influence. I haven't seen Murphy since literally the Debs, and from what I keep hearing, he's just a terrible person. Like, even more so than he was at school. I mean, at school I didn't consider him a terrible person, but just hearing all the things that I, from Cormac and from Coyle and from Kean, it's just, he seems like a terrible fucking person now. So maybe getting away from him helped. Yeah, he lost all that weight. He's a bartender now, and he goes home and he like practices his skills, and like he worked his way up from the bottom. Started from the bottom and over here. Like he used to be a service boy, like a kitchen hand, or that, doing dishes in the back. But he worked his way up into the ball. He weaseled his way behind the bar, and he just managed to stand his ground and handle himself to the point where now Coyle is actually the only legitimate bartender that the hotel has. And like I've been to Coyle's house. He's even set up over the pandemic. He set up like an actual like bar, like in a section of one of his dining area. He's got like a bunch of booze in bottles, like a nice little cabinet, and he would like practice there, mixing drinks and shit for like friends or family or himself or whatever. See, David is an excellent example of someone who that kind of freedom actually made better. I would never send him to college now. I honestly wouldn't. He'd be giving up too much. He'd actually be giving up too much. I think David would be excellent as a bartender, like for the rest of his life. And if he gets to the state where he could like actually be like such a legitimate bartender that he'd be like a mixologist, like fuck me. Like you can go anywhere with that. You can go to any big city with that. Ugh. Clink, clink, teeth on glass. Did I have a point on where I was going with that? Yeah, so, the huge weight gain. Right, the huge weight gain. I mean, the amount of food that we're stuffing into fucking tinfoil trays. I mean, it's literally overflowing. Literally, if it's not overflowing, they'll yell at me to put more in. I mean, the supervisor or whatever. And it's drowning in sauce. The kebabs are drowned in sauce. I mean, I could practically hear them screaming. They're that drenched in fucking chili sauce and garlic mayo. It's just, fast food is disgusting. Everybody's there like animals. Everybody's there coming, expecting to be fed like an animal. Like, literally, like the portion sizes are huge. I'm almost like, tell you what, next time, come in with a bucket over your head, and I'm just gonna fill that bucket around your head with, like, fries all the way up to the top, and loads of sauce, and then you can just go home and graze from it like a fucking horse or whatever. I swear to God. I swear to Christ. Well, at least I'm getting paid 12 quid an hour, but it's only 6 quid a night, so, 6 hours a night, and it's 12 quid an hour. So, it's average. If I started working at the Four Seasons, I'd probably working minimum at 10.50, but I would get proper hours, probably. And here at Morgan's, the hours are insane. I'm talking 10-hour shifts. Never had a 10-hour shift before. I only actually ever worked once, and I'm gonna have one tomorrow, right? I have to be in by 8. The only time I've ever worked more in one day was that one time in my life when I done a morning shift for NCO, and then directly after, like with a 2-hour window, I had to go over to Mab Acres and pull a night shift there until like 10 or something. Yeah, 10 or 11. Yeah, then. So, at Morgan's Fish, I'll be getting paid 12 quid an hour, and they're prepared to offer me 3 days a week. It's 3 days a week, that's 30 hours a week. 10 10-hour shifts. 12 times 30 is 360. So, wait, I calculated that, right? 12 times 30. 30 times 10. Yeah, 360. So, if I got Morgan's Fish 3 days a week, and maybe Four Seasons 2 days a week, I could make a pretty sweet penny. And I wouldn't have to keep on driving into fucking Tony's Pizzeria. And I swear to Christ, I'm never working in a takeaway again. I'm never working. Like, look, I live right beside a tourist town. Carlingford is a fucking tourist town. I'm sad that I couldn't get hired earlier there. I'm sad, okay? Because there's a lot of respectable work in Carlingford. You could be a bartender, you could be a waiter, any type of server. You live in a beautiful environment, plenty of customers coming in. Whereas Tony's Pizzeria is a fucking grease palace. Okay, it's a fucking grease factory. I hate it. I'm never working at a takeaway ever again.